Absolutely. And what about the possibility of having some type of forum where we invite some citizens in from Jefferson County and maybe from the Lexington area that we could ask those questions about? And maybe not as much Lexington because it's been in place for a while, but if we could have people from the Jefferson County area, from out in the county that weren't within the Louisville city limits to people in the city limits today that were there pre and post, to say, what differences have you seen and how does that make you feel? I mean, I can do that on a day-to-day basis at work, but I think it would help people, and I think it would offer some transparency. So people are automatically hear government change, and change is scary sometimes for everyone as it is, especially with the economic crisis we've all been in recently. But when you start talking about government change, people automatically bristle up because quite often we feel like we got the raw end of the deal. So I think that the transparency can be very important in that situation. And I can go out there and I can listen to what Jerry Abramson says, but he's on the government side of it. So if I really want the real true story about what happens to the citizen, I'd like to talk to the citizens about it.
Okay, good idea.
You know,
Luke's going to respond.
I think there's going to be an opportunity to hear exactly what you're talking about later on this year. Mayor Fisher, I happen to live in Lowell, and Mayor Fisher, right after he was sworn into office, one of the first things that he did is to create what they call a merger review commission, and it's actually called Merger 2.0. And what they're doing is they put together a panel of citizens, I think it's 15 to 20 people, and Mayor Fisher has asked that panel to specifically look at Metro government as it's currently operating and to find out if there are any deficiencies, if there are any things that could be done better, and to report back to him. I believe it's due in October or November. And at that point, I think that's going to be the best way to answer your question. There's no question that there are certain things in Metro that if they had it to do all over again, they would probably do a little bit differently. One of the issues that they're really struggling with right now is fire protection, because when they merged, they essentially kept the old Louisville Fire Department, but they also kept intact the 15 volunteer fire protection districts. And those 15 districts are really, really struggling. They're out of money. They're closing stations at night because they simply don't have the manpower to staff them, and they don't have the money to pay for it, which is not a good situation. Two of the volunteer fire departments just merged about 2 weeks ago, Lake Dreamland, and I've forgotten the name of the other one over on the West End. So I think if you watch the news, and we're watching that, I think we'll all learn as far as what they can do differently. And Mayor Fisher, I've been really impressed so far with his outlook. He seems to have a good understanding that there are some things that need tweaking, and he's willing to do it. So I think you're going to find that this time next year there'll be a few different things.
Yeah, no, you're right. We need to learn from those other communities, and we need to learn from Louisville Metro as well. And you know, we have, as a committee, we had Mayor Abramson come down to talk to us, and Luke lives there, and you know, those on the committee, we know people like you do that are in Louisville, so we've been talking with them. But you're right, we need to learn from them.
Yeah, lessons learned. Always another thing that we walk away from a project with when we're working. But I do watch the news and obviously read the newspaper. That's how I found out about this. I just want to hope that it wouldn't be like what we see with the news for Louisville, because it seems like when I see the Metro government on the news, it's all drama. It's not really substance. It's just somebody paid their daughter to do a job. You know, that kind of stuff isn't really of interest.
Let me make two other really quick points. Every community is different, and Louisville is a lot bigger than Hardin County, almost 7 times as big. And so what structure a Unification Review Commission might propose here for the voters, I think will be quite different than what you have with Louisville Metro. I'd really encourage you to go on the website, take a look at Athens and Clark County. It's very, very similar in terms of size and demographics to Hardin County. And I think you can put your arms around that a little bit easier. And I think what you'll find is that they've got a really, really good governmental system in place now that is very responsive to the citizens. It's pretty impressive.
I will. Thank you.
We'll go over this side. We don't want to ignore this side.
Yeah, my name is Randy Thurman. I'm from Elizabethtown mailing address, but I don't live in the city. I have 2 questions. The first, you said the urban areas, pretty much nothing would change. And what you're talking about, we don't have the sewers and street lights and so on, and we surely don't have the funds to build those with, so I can understand that point. But my question is, what would prompt people in the county to want to be a part of that?
Okay. There are, I think, many different advantages, but one advantage that I would suggest that is this. It helps us to create jobs, okay? Now, we're doing pretty good creating jobs right now, but in the job development business, you can never rest, okay? You have to keep working at it. And what you see is unified government then. If we're a community of 105,000, not, you're from, you're near Elizabethtown of 25 or 28,000. A lot of economic development these days takes place over the internet. And there's a lot, whether it's restaurants, whether it's shopping, whether it's industrial development, if you're not a certain population size, then you don't get the first look. You don't make the first cut, okay? So we need to make more of those cuts. By being a larger community, formally, we will make more of those cuts. We'll get more looks. That gives us the opportunity to continue to be successful in developing jobs.
Okay. My other question was, you said the taxes in urban areas really wouldn't change that much. And it may be so with the property tax, but what about the employers in the urban areas? Right now, they don't pay any city tax. And there's a lot of people I know for a fact, Dana for one, they don't pay city tax on because they're in Cecilia. They don't pay city tax on their check. See, I do taxes.
They do pay taxes, city taxes.
It's not on their check.
Not E-Town.
They're not in E-Town.
Got some details. Huh?
Depends on where the employee lives.
Exactly.
Right. Okay, where the employee lives. Well, occupational tax is not taxed that way.
When
Dana is in the city of Elizabethtown, and they withhold occupational taxes from every employee.
When I worked at Gates, I lived in Hardin County, and I paid city tax because Gates was in the city.
Right. So's Dana.
There's some of those factories that they don't pay city tax.
Well, if they are inside the city limits, they're paying city taxes, okay?
If it'll make you feel better, just through my consulting, I pay occupational tax in the city of Elizabethtown based on the consulting revenue that I generate down here. I love doing it. That's so.
No, I think that's a misconception there. They will pay. They do pay. You pay your city occupational tax depending on where the job is, not where you live as an employee. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Thank you. Yep.
Real quick, sir, sorry. I wanted to reiterate what my good buddy Ansford said. It's pretty empirical over time. You can see the larger your government, the less voice you have. The bigger it gets, the less voice you have. It's kind of obvious. I have a set of grandparents and uncles that live in Jefferson County before and post the municipal government, metro government thing. I don't know anybody that's very happy with it. Of course, I don't know everybody in Jefferson County, but the people I know that live there and do business there are not very happy with it. They've lost their voice. They've lost their say in government, and it's common sense for the most part. And right before you finished this slide, you were saying something about if you do not join the commission, or if you choose to abstain, then you automatically have nothing to say about it. Is that true?
If a city decides not to participate in the Unification Review Commission, okay, then those city residents will not vote as to whether or not their city will participate in unified government because the commission will not develop a plan that includes them, okay?
And they don't get a seat at the Unification Review Commission table to help advocate whatever position that city would like to have considered as far as the plan and the charter goes.
But they also don't have to participate.
I'm sorry?
They also don't have to participate either.
No, they don't have to.
That's right. That's right. They're, as city residents, they will not be voting as to whether or not their city will participate.
Let me address the Jefferson County issue that you raised. Prior to merger, Jefferson County Fiscal Court was basically controlled and run by 3 commissioners. And after they merged and went to a Metro Council, they now have a Metro Council with 26 council members elected from geographic districts. So I think the representation in most cases actually has increased for people going from 3 to 26.
Okay? Anybody else? Let's see. We have some people standing. And ladies and gentlemen, we have about 5 minutes. As I've indicated, the facility is being used again later, starting here in about 5 minutes. So we'll take 1 or 2 more questions and then we'll have to close.